Welcome to an introduction to Jewel Church Accounting System, version 6. We're going to start with a general overview of what you see in the Jewel home screen. Of course, here you see the name of the Jewel Church Accounting System. Right above the Jewel word, you will see 5 words, each of which represent a drop-down menu representing functions that some of which will be used often, some which are used only on occasion. Lower left-hand corner, you see the conference name and the name of the church, as well as the name of the treasurer. Following the name of the church is the date in which you're working. So this particular sample church with parent and sub-accounts, a very long name, your church name of course will be much shorter, you see that we will be working in January 2014. In the lower right-hand corner of the home screen, you can see the last offering that was entered, as well as the last check number and the date that that last check was entered. In the center of the screen, we see 5 functions. This particular next step function represents a preset order of steps that represent what happens with offerings, and then at the end it walks you through step by step closing the month. We'll talk about those more later. These 4 functions below, write checks, transfer funds, reconcile, and reports and graphs, can be accessed at any time. There is no preset time. You can start writing checks now. You can also, now when this write checks is for recording checks if you handwrite them. It is if you left click on the write checks form. If you handwrite checks, then you're just filling out here information related to the check you've already written. Jewel can also write your checks. You have the option of getting pre-printed checks that Jewel will then just complete the payee, the amount, the memo, and the account allocation. Or you also have the option of getting QuickBooks compatible blank check forms where Jewel actually writes the name of the church, as well as all the bank information and all of that. If you're interested in that, you can talk to me or to one of the auditors, and we can give you more information about that. Transfer funds is for actually recording transfers between local church accounts, like if you need to transfer money from the building fund to a specific, any transfer of local fund to local fund. You can also use transfer funds for bank-to-bank transfers. Let's say you're transferring from checking to savings or savings to checking. You can use that as well. Reconcile is where you go to reconcile your bank statement. And reports and graphs is a very powerful page of choose a report. Notice there are, 7 reports here that are preset and pretty standard that we use routinely. There are miscellaneous section where you have account journal. Account journal, we'll talk more about that. It's a very powerful tool for letting you know all the activity that's happened in a specific account. Receipts, you can get lists of names, that's donor names and vendor names, as well as your account list. Then there are less used reports, but many people love them. The monthly expense, annual comparisons, graphs that are fun to use sometimes. And once a year, you would use the Form 1099 payments. Please note this does not print or write the 1099s. It helps you select. We'll revisit all of those later in a more detailed section. Training videos are going to be broken down into about 10-minute segments and we'll address special issues in each one. In this overview, I want to tell you the best way to get help if you have closed a month or you have already completed your remittance check and you need to edit it or you realize you've made an error. Auditors, even though you can't change it, the auditors do have a special module that allows them access to closed months. We can reopen months. We can make corrections for you. You do need to send us your database, and that's easy to do. You click on this little tiny word File in the upper left-hand corner, go to File Transfer, and Send to Auditor. Please note that there is nothing that alerts us that you have sent that database. You're sending the database out to the Joule server, to a special section where we can easily go and retrieve it, but it does not alert us. You need to email, you need to text us, or better yet, call us. If we are busy and can't take your call, perhaps we're on another call or we're in the midst of an audit, please leave a voicemail letting us know the best time to reach you. And let us know that you have put your database out there and maybe give us an overview of what the issue is that you need assistance with. We will then retrieve that database, make the corrections based on our phone conversation or the email that you sent us, and then when we have finished making corrections, we'll send the file back to the server for you to retrieve. Please note that it's very important that you not work in Joule while we have your database and we're working on it. And here's why. Once we've made those corrections, we will notify you that you can go retrieve your database. You'll go to File and File Transfer, Receive from Auditor. When that file has been received, it asks you, it says you're about to overwrite your current database. It will be permanent. What that means is any work that you have done since sending us that database to work on, it will be overwritten. So you say yes, and that's good news because you now have your corrections. The corrected database is now there. Once you've received our corrections, then you can continue working in Joule. Another way to get help, especially this is nice for training if you need help with your reconciliation, maybe you have a question about a deposit or how to get specific reports. It is possible for you to request screen share. This should be done when you're on the phone with us because we have to allow it. Here's how to get a screen share where we can actually see your computer and show you remotely. We can help you. So you would go here and request screen share. It will say waiting for connection to be accepted. That's why you need to be on the phone with us at that time. And we will then allow screen share on our side and we'll be able to view your screen and actually help you real time. That's the end of this overview, this introduction to Joule Church Accounting version 6.